All right, here is the follow-up video to yesterday's question. What single thing made the most power improvement? I don't know if a lot of you guys remember being a teenager and taking your 8.5 to 1 350, putting a huge cam in it, and it turned into a gutless turd. And the reason is because the cam was so big that the car didn't make any cylinder pressure, and so it killed both horsepower and torque. But some of the commenters had it right. Single biggest thing, now this is assuming that we've already got optimized cylinder heads, optimized cam, carburation, intake manifold, exhaust, all of it. What single thing did we do that made the most improvement in power? The answer is compression. That's why this engine has over 17 to 1 compression, is because it made the most improvement. And it was the easiest thing to do. Once you have everything else done, all you had to do is raise the compression. It just made more power, period. It's kind of the same as what a turbo or a blower does. You're really, in effect, with a turbocharger, just increasing the compression because you're forcing more air into the cylinder. And so just having a naturally aspirated engine with a higher compression ratio is kind of like supercharging or turbocharging, or even nitrous is artificially putting a bunch more air into the cylinder. And that's how it makes more power, is there's just a lot more pressure in there, so that when that fuel and air mixture is ignited, it's a much more violent explosion. In a nutshell, the single biggest thing, once all the other bases were covered to increase power, is compression. And again, if you take your stock engine and put a gigantic cam in it, it's not going to make more power. It sounds cool. It's got a choppy idle, and you got the lopey lope as you're cruising, idling through the parking lot or whatever. But it kills the horsepower, honestly, because it kills the cylinder pressure so bad. Your intake valve is opened way past bottom dead center. So the piston is actually starting to travel up on the compression stroke before the intake valve even closes. And the bigger the cam is, the later that valve closes, and it kills cylinder pressure. That's why advancing the cam timing closes the intake valve sooner, building more cylinder pressure and creating more bottom end power. And retarding the cam timing does the opposite. It closes the intake valve later, and that causes a loss of cylinder pressure, and it kills the torque. So when you have the gigantic cam in there, you've killed your cylinder pressure. You're going to flow more air. You're going to get more air into the cylinder. And that's why a big cam with low compression will typically make a little more top end power because of the increased airflow, but it kills the torque. And the way you get the torque back, because this engine here has a gigantic cam in it, is with compression. If you've got a high enough compression ratio, it's going to squeeze that mixture down so tight and put so much pressure on it before it's ignited that's how you gain your torque and your power back in the lower RPM ranges. And to give you an idea how dramatic of a change compression was in this instance, when we had these engines making about 1,000 horsepower and we raised the compression 1 point, it raised the power 4%. So 1,000 horsepower went to 1,040 horsepower. No other change, just raised the compression.